Welcome back to Football Italia. Here we are at the Marassi Stadium, the Luigi Ferraris, to give his official title, where you can hear the crowd roaring their approval as the teams are announced behind me. A big crowd here, in fact, something like 40,000 the prediction, and a big game, of course. If you missed our 15 minutes or so of preamble before, I'll just quickly explain that Parma are number one in the Serie A right now, and Samp are in danger of heading right to the bottom of Serie A if they don't come up with a result today. Certainly, Parma are a difficult opponent. Corriere della Sera, the Milanese newspaper this morning, had this quote, headline here: "It's the year of Parma, and Zola scares me," says Eriksson. Well, he's just a little fellow, but apparently Eriksson reckons that Zola and co are the boys to watch out for this year. Milan have returned to mortality, he says, and Parma very much the team to beat. Interesting words from the coach of Sampdoria, but perhaps a bit of gamesmanship going on there before the game. Anyway, the teams will be coming out in a minute or two, and it certainly looks like an interesting lineup from Parma. They have something like 10 internationals now to choose from, but Espriella, after many arguments during this week, even talk of him being traded to Spain in return for Romario, other such exciting stories, looks, in fact it definitely is now, just checking down there on my team list, he definitely is in the squad, so the Colombian back in the team. Who knows whether he can live up to his reputation today and take our breath away. Anyway, as we await the teams coming out on the field now, I think it's time to hand over to our commentary team this afternoon, and they are Peter Brackley and Ray Wilkins.
Thank you, James. Hello again, everyone. And as ever, an air of expectation prevails in Sampdoria's compact arena, especially today, as not only are one of Serie A's most accomplished teams providing the opposition, but this, remember, is Sampdoria's first league match at home since the end of the ban on playing here that was imposed for the start of the season. Sampdoria have begun with a definite flourish, but they've slipped by losing the last two then in the league, with Coach Svensson having to juggle with his resources to cope with injuries. The heartening news for him today is that his captain Roberto Mancini returns after his problem. No David Platt, though, of course, as we've heard there, so Serena continues in midfield. And this is a date that Alessandro Melli will certainly have underlined on the fixture list. Melli hoping to prove that Parma's loss is very much Sampdoria's gain. Well, Parma's squad this season is even stronger, really, than for the last campaign. Just look at the outstanding talent that Nevio Scala now has to call on. Dino Baggio, Fernando Couto, the Portuguese international, and Roberto Musi are three of the newcomers. They're all internationals. The coach has made another excellent signing too in the former Sampdoria striker Marco Branca, although he's only on the bench this afternoon. Disappointingly, Benarivo hasn't made it. He's still out injured, the Italian international. But Di Chiara is fit to play at left back, with Musi operating on the right. It's one of the fixtures that certainly catches the eye. Two very attractive teams on their day. Sampdoria, the leading scorers, of course, in Serie A last season. And Parma, with so many gifted attacking players, and a team determined to maintain the highly promising start that's lifted them to the pinnacle of the table. So Ray Wilkins alongside me in the commentary box today. Looks like a good watch to look forward to today, Ray. Your thoughts on how it might turn out?
Yeah, good afternoon, Peter. Good afternoon, everybody. I think we are in for a humdinger, actually, Peter. I think actually watching Kenneth's little preview to the match before, the sort of stars that we do have on show is quite amazing. Look, there's Roberto Mancini in your picture, and I think we can safely say that we've got two of the finest number 10s, definitely in Italian football, even if we're not talking world football. They really are fantastic players. But this game really is sprinkled with fantastic players all over the pitch, and we should be in for one hell of a match. Both sides love to attack, so let's hope we see a really good attacking game.
Espriella, the Colombian international, who's had to fight for his place this season. There's so much competition now. Four foreigners, of course, at Parma. And there's Gianni Beskin, who takes control of this game, one of the most experienced officials in Italy. Indeed, he's on the FIFA international list. Sent off Mancini last season, as I'm sure Mancini remembers only too well, in the Genoa derby. Away we go then. Parma in the all-white strip, kicking off. And attacking from left to right as we look out. Confirmation there of the Parma side, with Di Chiara, who was unfit in the week for their Italian Cup tie, returning today. Sampdoria, well, they're certainly missing David Platt, but so relieved to have Mancini back in the side. And here is Mancini now. Melli. Trapped by Apolloni, and it's a corner to Sampdoria. Apolloni, who featured, of course, in the Italian World Cup squad. making 3 appearances in the finals. Only partially cleared as far as Evani. Off goes Zola, and it was Manini who came across. Sampdoria then, who've lost the last 2 league games, albeit by a single goal, and they were also beaten in the week by Fiorentina in the Italian Cup. Still with the second leg though to come. Lombardo, who we saw a moment or so ago, had an absolute nightmare, I'm told. Very rare for him. He's been one of the most consistent players in the Sampdoria side, and indeed was called up for the recent Italian game against Estonia, but ironically had to pull out through injury. He hasn't missed a game for Sampdoria in 3 seasons now.
Yeah, that call-up was really overdue, Peter, wasn't it? He's been a very, very consistent player for Sampdoria, and we've actually been quite shocked on this show that he hasn't been included.
Well, we certainly carried out a campaign for him. Good to know that Arrigo Sacchi was listening to us. Right?
Yes, it's nice to see that Arrigo actually watches this show. It's a great Sunday afternoon entertainment.
Absolutely. It's a free kick to Parma. Here's Crippa, who worked so hard for them in the midfield area. Now Apolloni, one of the central defenders, alongside Minotti and Fernando Couto, the Portuguese star, who's settled in very well indeed. Here's Musi. Now Dino Baggio. Parma free kick, found then by Jugovic. Dino Baggio, the record signing by Parma, £6.5 million from Juventus.
It's an unnecessary free kick to give away with this chap Zola, Peter, because he can put it on the tanner, this chap, and really Baggio was going nowhere there, and Jugovic just pulled him over. But this is a very dangerous situation.
Whipped over by Zola. Here's Brolin. Well, he's yet to score in Serie A this season, the Swedish international, but his form has been impressive. He didn't score for a couple of months in the last campaign either.
I think that'll be one of the highlights of this afternoon's matches. Mancini and Zola both take the free kicks, whether it be a shot at goal or whether it be a cross into the box, and it'll be very interesting to see actually the quality in which they hit those free kicks in.
Walter Zenga, of course, now the Sampdoria goalkeeper, having moved from Inter, along with Riccardo Ferri, who's playing at the back. Some very experienced defenders out there. Here's another one in Björkebond, 35. Ferri into his 30s as well. Indeed, the average age for the Sampdoria defence is 33.
A young back four, one would have thought, Peter. Packed with experience. When you've got Björkebond and Ferri there, it's nice guys to have around. Seen it all and done it all.
As David Platt was saying, Björkebond has been carrying an injury. He was substituted in the week, so I don't think he's 100% fit today. Here's Melli now. Easily away by Apolloni, then from Minotti. Down goes Zola. No foul though, it's a throw to Sampdoria. Currently in 9th place in Serie A. 6 points behind Parma, who top the table on 13 along with Roma. Those two teams and Juventus have yet to be beaten in Serie A this season. This is Minotti. Off goes Asprilla. And his burst of pace was to no avail. Goal kick to Sampdoria. Asprilla, who was not too pleased at finding he wasn't going to be an automatic choice this season.
I think that's a good sign from Palmer's point of view, Peter, when you have a player of such immense talent that he can't actually say, well, I'm going to walk into this side. They really do have a side and a squad that is packed with excellent footballers.
Sensini, the Argentine international, is the man to miss out today among the foreigners. Now Musi. Brolin. Fernando Couto, who's already scored twice in Serie A. Another one too in the Italian Cup. Melli swapping passes with Mancini. Björkebond in so firmly, but not fairly.
Well, it was a heavy challenge, that, Peter. I think it's Zola that he's caught, and Was a bit of a rash old challenge from Vierkewood there. Yeah, really lifting him up in the air. Not very pleasant.
Right through the back of Zola.
It's a cagey old start, Peter, isn't it? Neither side really wanting to open up and into a full attacking game. But the feelers are out, and hopefully the game will liven up.
Fernando Couto. Threaded up towards Asprilla. Vierkevoort sticking close to him. Asprilla with 2 goals in Serie A so far, both of them in one game against Padova. Zola. Another tantalising ball in as well.
It's a great ball in, Peter. That is absolutely magnificent. He really does whip him in. You can see the angle that he takes to run up to the ball, and he really does whip it in as if he's taking one of his shots at goal. And I think it's Kripper on the back post. Look at that, what a ball in it is. And Kripper just not being able to get over the top of it. I think Minotti, in actual fact, was on the back post to walk it in if Kripper had missed it.
Off goes Belly. Historic news of an early goal for Bari, a shot lead there against Inter. Guerrero, another Colombian, has scored for Bari away to Inter. Inter in 6th place in Serie A, Bari down in 10th. Vierkevoort with the covering tackle again. This is Mihailovic, the former Yugoslav, signed on loan from Roma. Di Chiara. Another player with plenty of pace down the flank, Di Chiara, in the same mould as Benarivo when he's in the team. Apolloni to Fernando Couto. His fee was £2.2 million from Porto, and by today's prices, that's something of a bargain. Mussi taking the throw. On by Kripper. Now can Mussi keep this in? Just too long.
I think Mussi thought he was going to be offside, but he seemed to stop his run, and had he continued, I think he would have got to that.
Mussi, who played in the World Cup final but was injured and had to go off. Walter Zenga, and Inter first choice, of course, for 12 years before his switch to Genoa.
Yeah, I was watching the programme yesterday morning, the Gazzetta programme, Peter, and it had the Fiorentina game on, and Zenga was absolutely magnificent. He pulled off a number of stunning saves, and I think Zenga, I was a bit dubious of whether this would work at Sampdoria with Zenga, but he's done very well.
On by Mihailovic. This is Belly. Mancini on the burst. Well policed though by Apolloni. Headed by his fellow defender Minotti. Always looks very relaxed and composed on the ball, Minotti. Di Chiara, good skill by him. Minotti. Away by Vierkevoort. Berlin. Impeded though by Jugovic. Berlin very much a part of the Swedish team that of course got to the World Cup semi-finals. Impish figure, but couldn't shake off Jugovic. Now Fernando Couto lining one up here, Ray.
Looks like one of these ambitious ones, doesn't it, Peter? The over-ambitious one. It's a long, long way out.
Well, here he is, Fernando Couto. And perhaps he won't try it again.
I think you better put that down to a good clearance, Peter, that one. I think the thing that Parma is so fortunate, they've got Couto and Minotti, who are both very, very comfortable in possession of the ball. Midfield players don't have to come so deep. They push the 2 full-backs forward, and they play with the 3 at the back. And when Couto and Minotti are so comfortable, it's such an asset. They can bring the ball forward and release players in other areas of the field. They look a very accomplished outfit, actually, Parma.
Fernando Couto, who's been signed really to replace Georges Groot, who's now back in Belgium. And he was a very accomplished defender for them. Here's Menotti now. Currently out of favour with the Italian national team, Menotti. Apolloni has been selected, though, for the past couple of games. I think the flag was up then anyway, as Luca Bucci came herring out of his goal.
Was super goalkeeping, Peter, wasn't it? Great ball from Ivani on the left foot. That was very good goalkeeping had he had the game been allowed to play.
Bucci, who was Italy's #3 in the World Cup finals. And of course, Sebastiano Rossi of Milan was called up for the last game against Estonia, with Pagliuca still the #1 choice. Zola battling here with Ferri, who's a determined and obdurate defender. Free kick taken by Lombardo to Ivani.
You see, with them playing the three at the back, they can afford to push Di Chiara onto Lombardo, who really is a danger man for Sampdoria, and would be a big problem for Parma. But they're more or less matched up man for man, and it's very difficult for Lombardo to get any sort of freedom. That was very crude from Cote.
Oh, very untidy up Mancini. I'm sure Parma are only too well aware of the threat that he poses. But nonetheless, that was, yeah, as Mancini suggesting, a bit of a foolish challenge by Fernando Couto. Mihailovic with a free kick then for Sampdoria. Melli. So anxious to impress today, Melli. Mancini up towards Jugovic. Apolloni was in very quickly. Away then by Fernando Couto. Serena's misplaced header. Off goes Di Chiara. And almost got clear of Manini then. Serena. Here's Lombardo. Neither side really into their stride so far, but here's Zola now. Asking a lot of Asprilla with his terrific pace. Asprilla the first choice up front then, but they certainly have an option in Marco Branca on the bench today. Branca, who scored 3 times in the last 2 games in Serie A, and has looked a very, very useful signing by Nevio Scala. Had a couple of spells with Sampdoria, Marco Branca, but really couldn't force a regular place because of Mancini and Vialli at the time. Dino Baggio. No problem for Zenga. Dino Baggio, who was certainly one of Italy's major successes in the World Cup finals. Wasn't too keen to leave Juventus. It was only really when he was guaranteed a midfield place at Parma that he agreed to make the transfer.
He looked a very good player as well with Juventus, Peter. I think they'll be looking back and ruin the day that they actually sold him on to Parma, because I think Baggio's been an excellent player, and he's got that habit of arriving late in the box and getting goals, and that's a commodity that Juventus could do with and not without.
Mihailovic stabbed on rather carelessly, though. That was won it back well. Jugovic, his former compatriot, and Lombardo caught offside.
That's a shame, actually. He can look all the way along the line there. He shouldn't really be getting caught offside there. It was a beautiful little bit of football from Jugovic. Lovely pass, and Lombardo really shouldn't have been caught offside.
Zola. Mihailovic. Challenged by Musi. Away then by Ferri. But somewhat ineffectively. 15 minutes gone. No goals. Not really too much of a chance created as yet by either side. Now Mancini hoping to get something started here for Sampdoria. On for Melli. And again the linesman flagging over on that far side.
Mancini's not too happy with him, is he? Straight over to the linesman. I don't think that's going to go down too well with the referee.
Minotti. This is Brolin. Now Kripa. Caught though by Serena.
It's all a bit niggly, Peter, at the moment, isn't it? A lot of niggling little tackles going about and niggling fouls. Not the sort of game we anticipated at the moment.
Minotti. Now then for Kripa. This is Busi to pump it back in again. Asprilla can't get there before Ferry. Now Brolin in determinedly. Serena losing out to Asprilla. And Zola. Lovely piece of skill then by Zola. Well, no one on the end of the cross, but it wasn't too far away from that far post.
I thought he had a shot there, Peter, actually. He came inside absolutely fantastically well, and he just drilled it into the far post. A lot of curl on it. Actually looks as if he had a go there. Bit ambitious, but the little man is a bit of a magician with the ball.
Only Signori has scored more goals than Zola in Serie A last season. 18 from Zola, the same total as Roberto Baggio. And he's got a couple already in this season's Serie A matches. Now Jugovic, laid back. Shot from Meli, charge down. Mihailovic. It goes Jugovic now, ploughing his way through. Fabulous little run then by Jugovic, and it deserved better reward.
Most certainly, Peter. Two magical bits of skill from Jugovic. First, the one when he cut it back for Meli coming in. I think Meli would have preferred it on his right foot, but this was a great piece of skill as well. Very strong. Hits the target, it's a goal. That's the first chance we've seen of both sides to really making an attempt on goal, and that really was first-class stuff from Jugovic.
Well, Luca Bucci out very quickly to close the angle down. But nonetheless, some excellent work by Jugovic, and he'll be disappointed he didn't score there. Luca Bucci has kept 3 clean sheets in the last 5 games now. Here's Manini. Serena, away by Minotti. Sampdoria beginning to settle now, and beginning to trouble Parma, the league leaders. Four wins and a draw from Parma's 5 matches so far. Free kick to Sampdoria for the offence on Lombardo. Whipped in by Serena. This is Mancini trying to set up Meli. Fernando Couto with the back pass that Bucci had to deal with.
It was very unlucky, Peter, wasn't it? Mancini, I think he was well aware who was around him, and he just had a little ambitious back heel there to try and put someone in on goal, but Couto read it as well, and just laid it back to Bucci.
On by Evani. Meli turning sharply. Good effort then by Meli.
Great effort, Peter, wasn't it? Lovely first touch and close control to his body, and that's what beats goalkeepers, when players hit the ball early, when strikers hit it early. The greatest I think I've seen it in Italian football was Papin. As soon as he had a side at goal, it was that short back lift and a crack on target.
Touched on by Zola for Kripa, the 2 former Napoli men. Kripa, who is so important to Parma. And certainly a lot of observers on the Italian game feel that he might have had a call-up or 2 from Arrigo Sacchi, but so far he's ignored him. Which is surprising, really, when you consider the number of players that he has drafted in.
I think he's first-class, but I think you're dead right there. I don't think that's too much of a bad tackle, but Kripa really has been a first-class buy for Parma.
Doesn't have too many bad games. Brolin with the free kick. Fernando Couto forward again. He scored 3 times this season. They've all been from headers. There's Kripa now. Zola in pursuit. Jinking away from the tackle, and Zenga just holding on then. He had to claw that one out of the air. A lovely piece of skill by Zola.
That's quite right, Peter. A wonderful piece of skill. To actually get that ball in with his left foot from there was a fantastic piece of ability. But a good take from Zenga.
Now Meli. An exquisite piece of skill from him this time. Still Meli trying to plough his way through. just surrounded by too many defenders in the end. But I must say, I always felt that Palmer underestimated the value of Melli, and he's clearly determined to prove them wrong today.
Yes, that's quite right, Quinn. If he'd had more confidence in his left foot as well, he would have. I think he would have taken. I think it was Apolloni. I think he would have taken him on his left side instead of going into the pack on his right side.
Certainly a natural goal scorer, Melli. Didn't have too many opportunities in Palmer's team in the last campaign, but he was top scorer in his first 3 terms with Palmer. Took something of a backseat to Zola and Asprilla in the last season. Only 13 starts, still managed 5 goals. This is Di Chiara. Taking on Lombardo. One back by Ferri. Melli just created some room for himself then, with his awareness of what was going on around him. Serena with Mancini. Down goes Serena. And the referee says play on.
I think quite rightly too, Peter. I don't think it was a free kick, but it was a lovely 1-2 that they played.
Asprilla now sprinting away from Vierkevor. There's danger here, and Zenga again plucks it out of the air. Came out in such confident fashion then, Zenga.
Good football from Asprilla though, Peter. Great run off the ball, and he was a bit too quick for Vierkevor.
Well, it's a much better game now. Dino Baggio. Skripper working diligently for Palmer. Mihailovic now. Good anticipation by Fernando Couto. There's Brolin. Now the Portuguese international again. Safely back to Walter Zenga, whose form doesn't appear to have dipped in any way since his switch from Inter. There's a great understanding, of course, with the man on the ball now, Riccardo Ferri, who had 13 years with the Inter first team squad. Cross in by Melli. And how's that for coolness then from Apolloni? But he's given it straight to Ivani. Lombardo. Ivani again. Now for Mihailovic. This is Melli. Very lively in this early phase, Melli. In goes Ivani again. Now Mihailovic.
What a pass, Peter, that was from Mihailovic.
Mancini now. In towards Lombardo. Couldn't get a shot on goal, though.
He's a very intelligent player, Melli, Peter. He's taken up some wonderful positions on either side of the field, and he's making himself an easy target for his Sampdoria teammates. First-class player.
Looked like a case of obstruction then. Certainly Kripper saw it that way. The referee didn't agree. Ferri now. Had a long spell out through injury, Ferri, some 9 months or so. But he returned to the Inter side for the back end of the last campaign. But they decided to discard him. Zenga and Battistini only... They all were allowed to leave. Only Bergami was kept on by Inter for this season, among the first-choice defenders. Little altercation then, Mihailovic.
I think the handbags are out, Peter.
It's Musi, the Palmer player, involved.
I thought Musi did well there. He didn't seem to foul him. I thought he stood up and defended well.
Long raking ball through from Mihailovic. Does take a good free kick. And is certainly a specialist from long range, Mihailovic, with his shooting. Now Brolin. Asprilla, lost Vierkevor then. Dino Baggio. And away off Ferri for the corner.
Yeah, I think Vierkevor been guilty of trying to read a couple with Asprilla, and I think if you get as tight as he is on Asprilla, he's just going to roll you, and he's so fast. And we saw that time he left Vierkevor standing in and leaving him in his wake, no problem.
Zola with the corner. This is Musi. Di Chiara. Now Kripa with Fernando Couto. Was that a trip then by Ivani? It was. And while we wait the free kick, just time to tell you there's a shock scoreline coming in from the Padova-Milan game. Alexi Lalas, the American, has given Padova the lead against Milan. The eyebrows of Ray Wilkins will raise there.
Yes, they most certainly were, Peter. My team are in a little bit of a crisis at the moment. I'm sure they'll come out of it, though.
In fact, both of your teams are struggling at the moment. Crystal Palace, but...
yeah, that was very unfortunate.
We were a bit unlucky yesterday.
Lads were terrific yesterday. We were very unfortunate.
Asprilla. Brolin. There's Menotti. Rather hopefully forward. Fernando Couto. Back then for Zola. And of all people, a complete miscue.
Yeah, very good play from Couto. He did ever so well to challenge for the ball, the initial ball in the air. But then he showed tremendous composure as it dropped. A lovely little ball inside to Zola. Here we see a bit of aggression there to win the ball. And this is lovely awareness. Little cutback. And you would think that Zola would hit the target from there. I'd be very disappointed with that.
Really abrasive challenge by Fernando Couto, who looks like becoming a firm favourite with Parma.
He appears that sort of chap, Peter. Whether the ball's on the floor, whether the ball's in the air, he does attack the ball very aggressively.
On by Musi. One in the other by Jugovic. Now Ivani. Always busy, Ivani. 16 years with Milan. Now very much a part of the scene at Sampdoria. Ivani had a good first season. Melli's cross. Little flick off then by Mancini, almost linking with Lombardo. A Cripper able to break now for Parma. Zola. This is Menotti. Menotti to thread it on in search of Asprilla. Certainly Zenga here made some outstanding saves, as Ray was pointing out earlier on against Fiorentina. Although Sampdoria lost the game, it could have been a heavier defeat but for him. Lombardo, and then by Jugovic. Only as far as Kripa. Foul then by Zola on Vierkovon. Which I wouldn't recommend.
No, you certainly wouldn't, Peter. No, he's a bit of a tough character, is Vierkovon. And that one will be marked down, no doubt.
Off Serena. For the goal kick to Parma.
I think with Mancini, he doesn't really look match fit, Mancini. They do appear to be slightly lightweight up front, I think, Sampdoria. Though Melli's doing exceptionally well to retain possession of the ball and bring other players into play. I think a fully fit Mancini would be a great asset to Sampdoria, but today he doesn't really look fully fit.
Looking for his 100th Serie A goal, incidentally, today. Sampdoria, that is.
I wonder who's on penalties, Peter.
Right. Now Di Chiara. That's a foul surely by Serena.
He looks a bit of a player, doesn't he, Di Chiara? He's defending well against Lombardo, but any opportunity he gets, he's looking to bomb forward as well, using the ball intelligently, not giving it away, just keep retaining possession of the ball. Really does look a good player.
And the first player from Parma to be capped at international level when he won his first Italian cap a few seasons ago. Not currently featuring, though, under Arrigo Sacchi.
I'm sure if he didn't have the likes of the Maldinis of this world, I think Di Chiara would still be there, Peter.
Lombardo now. Again, superb anticipation by Luca Bucci. As Jugovic thrusting down the middle.
Yeah, quite right, Peter. Tremendous goalkeeping, that is. Lovely anticipation.
Serena now. Early ball in search of Melli. There's Brolin. Dino Baggio to Asprilla. Wrestled by Vierkovod. He offers him his shirt.
What a dummy it was as well, Peter, he sold Vierkovod. He never touched the ball, just a swivel of the hips there, and Vierkovod was... There we go, didn't even touch the ball. Vierkovod all ends up beaten.
Yes, once or twice he's just been simply exposed by the individual skill of Asprilla. Vierkovod. Brolin now. Off goes Asprilla.
It's got to be said, though, to actually... That is ill-advised, taking your shirt off to Pietro Vierkovod. It's not a very pleasant thing to do on a football field, and I'm sure Vierkovod wouldn't be too happy with the situation.
So that's two Parma players he'll be looking for now. He's got Zola marked down.
I'm sure if he was a couple of years younger, he could have marked them both. He's absolutely dynamic football. He still is a very, very good player, but his pace a couple of years ago was phenomenal.
Now 35 years old, Vierkovod. And Mancini then surely lunged out at Fernando Couto.
Yeah, Fernando Couto had a little bit of a go at Mancini there. He just brushed past him, and I think he just flicked his hand out. There was nothing too dangerous about it. The ref wants to get on with the game anyway.
Well, I don't know if he had a good view of that or not, referee Basket. Sven-Goran Eriksson, the coach of Sampdoria, unhappy at Fernando Couto's reaction.
He just brushes past him. Well, I don't think we're going to see it, but he brushes past him, and then there's obviously a word.
Well, his arm certainly snaked out. There was no question of that. I think Mancini knew just what he was doing. My view there, though, that Fernando Couto made an absolute meal of it.
Yeah, it's not a very pleasant thing to see, is it? I thought he got a hair in his eye there for a minute, but that isn't a very nice thing to see, trying to get players sent off.
Lombardo now. The referee has taken no action. On by Lombardo again. Serena outmanoeuvred though by Menotti. The two number 4s together. Di Chiara being helped up by Lombardo. And they're having quite a tussle down that Sampdoria right. Lombardo and Di Chiara. Vanni with the free kick. Shielded by Melli. Brolin away though. Zola is drifting past the tackles almost nonchalantly. Trying then to release Asprilla. Right on his shirt tail, but not inside it this time was Vierkovod.
Yeah, it was good defending, wasn't it? Lovely bit of football there from Zola. It was super defending from Vierkovod.
It's Mancini with Ivani. Mancini's cross. Out comes Bucci again. Patrolling his penalty box so well, Luca Bucci. Might get extended again though now. Mancini. In towards Melli. Fine stop. Mihailovic with the cross.
Brilliant play from Mancini. He was so alert. So alert. I think it was Di Chiara trying to dribble it out, and then Mancini robbed him. This is a lovely little ball across the face of the goal. Magnificent save coming up from Bucci. It's a great stop. I think it's with his foot as well. And Mihailovic, I thought was going to smash it back across the face of the goal, but I think he had a shot.
And we saw there the indignation of Melli that he didn't score, taking his frustration out on the goalpost. 10 minutes of the first half to go. There'll be a free kick this time for the foul on Melli, who is certainly tormenting his former teammates. It's a yellow card here for Menotti.
Now the game's livening up, Peter, isn't it? There are some challenges flying about, but the game is livening up.
I don't think it was Menotti's tackle there.
No, I thought it was Di Chiara. That was Cripper, was it?
Definitely a yellow card for somebody anyway.
Nevertheless, this chap can whack him from here, can't he? Mihailovic has got a fantastic left foot.
Got a couple of goals early on in the season from free kicks. Here he is now, Mihailovic. And just beyond Millie.
He was lining it up like a golfer, wasn't he? He was looking at all the angles there, and he really did strike it very well, and someone's been obviously hitting that wall, which won't be feeling too comfortable at the moment.
And look at Bucci, certainly saved his side a couple of minutes ago with that outstanding reaction save from Melli. Brolin, confronted by Jugovic. Always does a good steady job for Sampdoria, Jugovic. His third season now with the club. Former Red Star Belgrade player like Mihailovic.
Yes, he does do a very good job for them, Peter. Really beavers away in the middle of the field. I think with the situation with Parma, I think with Brolin, he has to play a lot deeper because of the riches that they have. Obviously with Zola, Asprilla up the front, he really has to play a midfield role. And consequently, we're not seeing him as a forward player, an exciting forward player that we're used to seeing.
Swept on by Dino Baggio. Here's Asprilla, and the strength had to hold off Manini.
Fantastic body strength, wasn't it? That was a hell of a challenge that Manini was going to put in on him, but he managed to keep himself between the ball and Manini and really did show a lot of strength.
Asprilla's free kick. There's Fernando Couto. And once again, not enough accuracy on the long-range shot from the Portuguese defender.
He's got a lot of space as well as Fernando Couto. He could have actually carried the ball forward a little bit, but that is very ambitious from there. Good thinking from Asprilla, though, taking the quick free kick, try and catch someone out.
Kept in by Belli, but hooked away by Fernando Couto. And Asprilla with a challenge on Vierkevon.
Very good challenge as well. He covered a lot of ground there, Asprilla, to get to Vierkevon. Nice to see forward players working back. There's another one, Zola.
Now Brolin. Here's Di Chiara. Dino Baggio. It's all about effort.
Great effort, Peter, wasn't it? He's had a bit of a quiet old first half as Baggio, but that was good play. I think most people expect him to go on his right side, cut inside on his left, and ends up with a nice shot just rising over the top.
Brolin. Asprilla. Oh, Cripper felt his path was blocked again there. No sympathy from the referee. And Ferry can bring it away for Sampdoria. Now then to Serena. Clearance by Apolloni. Ivani. Foul by Brolin. On by Vierkevon to Mihailovic. Jugovic now. Very mobile player with bags of stamina too, Jugovic. And he's got a free kick here, which I'm sure Mihailovic will take. Except it's a throw. Mihailovic with the cross. Dangerous one too. Comfortably held by Bucci. Looking to send Asprilla away. Didn't get the luck of the bounce then. Ferry able to tidy up. Yeah,
Ferry's quite right. Zenga should have come out for that. I think he made a bad decision there. But that was great goalkeeping from Bucci. He took a superb cross and then spotting Asprilla making one of those darting runs, picked him out.
Di Chiara now. Still Di Chiara. Brolin. Asking a lot though of Musi. Another very positive burst by Di Chiaro, who has certainly taken his opportunities to come forward for Parma over on the other side.
Yeah, for a defender, Peter, he's got a great awareness of when to play it and when to run with it, and I don't think he's given a ball away all afternoon. He really has had a good game.
Fernando Couto on for Asprilla. Manini in decisively. It's not proving a good day for the Milan club so far. Part of them, remember, leading Milan by a goal to nil. Inter are now 2-0 down at home to Bari. And I'm also hearing that Desailly, the French international from Milan, has been sent off at Padova. So the problems are mounting for the champions. Zola. It goes Asprilla. I think Musi couldn't control it. Asprilla. And Mihailovic able to extricate his team from trouble. Melli's pass now. Menotti always favourite to reach that one first, though. 3 minutes of the first half remaining. Ivani for Sampdoria. This is Serena. The delivery simply wasn't good enough, though. Asprilla now. On for Brolin. 3 up in this attack. Zola sprinting forward. Zola's pass. And there's no flag. Zola. And Parma take the lead. Sampdoria defenders looking in vain for an offside flag.
A fantastic bit of football, Peter, wasn't it? Asprilla starts it off in his own half. A great ball for Brolin. Brolin breaks very, very quickly, and we've not seen him do that in this game. Really did show a lot of pace through the middle of the field. Good ball to Zola, and if we can see it again, Zola's heads up all the time. He knows where everybody is. He gives it out there to Cripper. Cripper, tremendous composure, rolls it back across the box. I think Zola even gives Ferry the eyes there, looking in one corner and puts it in the other. Really first-class goal. Yep, great running off the ball. Here we see Zola just turn up in the box. Just rolls it into the corner. Lovely goal. First-class football. But that was more like the old Brolin, Peter. He actually a lot further forward. It just goes to show when he gets further forward, he really is a creative player.
The goal coming just 2 minutes from the break. Sampdoria, well, they lost their concentration at the back then. They felt they should have had an offside flag. Now there's Bucci holding on just under his crossbar. And only just. Ferry having to shepherd this one back toward Zenga.
Good refereeing again, Peter, allowing the game to go on, keeping the game flowing.
Zola's 3rd goal in Serie A this season. Got a couple in Europe as well to help steer his team past the challenge of the Dutch club, Vitesse Arnhem.
Good tackle, wasn't it, from Asprilla? Again, working very, very hard.
Mihailovic with a chipped free kick. Now Cripper, who laid on the goal for Zola. Ferry. Lombardo. Not the best of clearances then from Menotti. It's gone unpunished though. We're now into injury time at the end of the first half, which has ended on a real high for Parma, thanks to Zola's goal. Parma, remember, unbeaten in Serie A so far this season. Here's Serena now for Sampdoria. But again, the service was poor. Mancini, as ever, with plenty to say. And I'm sure there'll be some strong words at half-time from the coach, Sven-Goran Eriksson. really flowed in this first half, Sampdoria, but they have had opportunities. Mihailovic. All too easy for Fernando Couto and Menotti. Gripper is the target here. Away from Serena. No one with the white shirt in the middle, apart from Asprilla. Vyakovov was there first. Asprilla has won it back off Mihailovic. Now Brolin. Intelligently wide, but maybe too wide here for Baggio. He's kept it in. Pass for Musi. That was very in the way then. An important intervention by him. Mihailovic to whack it clear.
Poor defending from Mihailovic there, Peter.
Mancini. We're down to the 3rd minute of stoppage time. Di Chiara with a throw for Palmer. Menotti. This is Asprilla. Finding Gripper. He's had an outstanding first half. Zola ahead of him. Support 2 from Asprilla. Zola's pass. Now here's the Colombian again. Asprilla. Jancic past his marker and into the side netting.
You won't see many better 1-2s than that, I don't think. That was one of the longest ones you'll probably see. Asprilla and Zola. Beautifully executed. Look at this little feint here, look. Takes him down the line. I think Zola makes a great run into the near post, and I think he wanted the ball cut back, but it actually hit the upright. So a good end to the first half.
Yes, the final whistle has been blown by referee Beskin, and the goal then from Zola just before half-time divides the two teams. 1 or 2 earlier chances, certainly for Sampdoria. Melli very unlucky. Everything to play for in the second half. At the half-time stage in Genoa, it's Sampdoria 0, Parma 1, and we'll be back after a short break.
Welcome back to the Marassi. As you've probably just seen, it's 1-0 here between Sampdoria and Parma. Parma, though, in the lead. The goal coming just before half-time from Zola. But while the teams are on the break, time as ever to race through the half-time scores. And this, the 6th week of the Serie A season. Brescia are losing 1-0 at home to Genoa. Scuravi, the scorer there, the big Czech. Cagliari 1-0 up at home over Cremonese. Oliveira, the naturalised Belgian. Foggia 1-0 up over Juventus with the Italian Pierpaolo Bresciani, and Inter losing 2-0 at home to Bari. Their black period continues. Bari getting the score, the first goal in the first minute with Guerrero, and then Tovaglieri adding a second a bit later on. Now Lazio having a bit of a goals fest down at the Stadio Olimpico in Rome. Boksic with the first in the second minute, then Vinter. Pecchia scored 1 for Napoli. Casaraghi, Negro and Winter getting his second, meaning that it's 5-1 at half-time between Lazio and Napoli. Padova 1-0 up, the shock result of the day there over Milan. Lallas, the American who received such criticism in England, getting the scorer, getting the goal there. And Milan, in fact, down to 10 men with Desai now sent off. Reggiana 1-0 up over Fiorentina. Giorgio Bresciani, no relation, getting the goal there. And Sampdoria trailing at home 1-0 to Parma. Zola, the scorer there. Now that just leaves Torino-Roma, which of course will be tonight's game, and you can see that in fact in our Tuesday night Mezzanotte programme. An interesting matchup it looks set to be. Roma, of course, at the moment second in Serie A on goal difference from Parma. They haven't lost a game yet so far this season, and they've got that deadly South American duo up front of Daniel Fonseca and Abel Balbo. They face a Torino side that hasn't had the best of starts, but they are showing some signs of life now, Torino, under their new coach Nedo Sonetti. How will they fare tonight against Roma, the Giallorossi Wolves? Well, find out in our Tuesday night Mezzanotte programme. Anyway, now it's competition time, goal of the month with the best of September scores.
Our Goal of the Month competition for September gives you the chance to go to Italy with Alitalia Italia Tour to see the action for yourself, live. Just take a look at these 8 goals from last month and then make your selection of the best goals scored in Serie A in September. So here's a reminder of the 8 nominations for September's best goal. Make your choice and call us on 0891 11 44 11. If you get it right, you could be on your way to Italy to enjoy a top Serie A fixture. Remember, 0891 11 44 11. And the lines close at midnight on the 19th of October. After the break, we'll get back into today's action with the second half of Sampdoria against Parma live. So don't go away.
Welcome back to the Marassi Stadium. Just glancing over my shoulder there because the teams are ready to kick off in this second half. Sampdoria trailing 1-0 at home to Parma after Zola's goal just before half-time. What can they do about it in the second half? Let's find out now with our commentators Peter Brackley and Ray Wilkins.
Thank you, James. Parma indeed looking for their first ever win over Sampdoria in Genoa. Sampdoria starting the second half, now attacking the goal to our right. Both sides a little bit too predictable maybe in the first half. Both playing fairly similar formations, so there weren't too many opportunities, but Zola taking the one that certainly came Parma's way 2 minutes from half-time. Set up for him by Crippa. On by Mancini, in goes Lombardo. Safely claimed though by Luca Bucci, who did make a couple of outstanding stops in that first 45 minutes.
I think what we'll see actually is Mancini push further forward, Peter. He's been playing rather deep and leaving Melli up front all on his own. I think we'll see him push forward and see if he can create something from a position a lot further forward, because he's been far too deep and Melli's been doing it all on his own. Lombardo's got to get in the game. I know Di Chiara's playing very well, but he's got to make it tough for him. He's got to keep posing him problems, and at the moment he isn't.
Evani, away by Di Chiara. Two defenders going for the same ball there. Lombardo trying to work it on. Good closing down though by Di Chiara. Now Crippa. Lovely flick off then by Zola. Sprinting onto the return pass as well. Zola's cross just beyond Asprilla. And Dino Baggio, who arrived as well.
Is he not a wonderful footballer, Zola, Peter? His football was absolutely magnificent. His awareness of where Brolin was when he did that little back heel. But he wasn't content with the back heel. He went for the second ball. And as we saw, it was a marvellous cross into the box.
Maspero, who's on in the second half as a substitute. He's featured in all the games so far, and he's started the last few. Came from Cremonese back in the summer. Mancini, who, as Ray was saying in the first half, doesn't look 100% fit. Been out for a while. But he's certainly very important for Sampdoria. Such a creative player. Marvellous football brain. A bit like Wilkins himself when he's out there.
It's very kind of you to say so, Peter. I think it's Jugovic that has had to go off, in actual fact.
Which is quite a blow for Sampdoria. Meantime, here's Mancini in pursuit.
Wonderful pass again. We have seen some wonderful long passing in this game, especially in the first half there. This second half only been a couple of minutes old, but that was a wonderful pass, trying to pick out Mancini. A great run for him, dipping off the back of Apolloni's shoulder and looking for the one over the top.
Just too long for Mancini, who's the most prolific scorer in Sampdoria's history and has in total 108 goals in Serie A. Only Roberto Baggio among current players has more, just one. Lucy persevering down that right side for Parma. Former Torino player, of course. Fernando Couto, another of the new men at Parma this season. Ferri's header away, collected here by Zola. Now Di Chiara. Here's Brolin. Menotti. Fernando Couto. Kept in by Mihajlovic. Mihajlovic hoping to make an impact this season. Never quite made the breakthrough really with Roma. Started this season briskly enough, but his form has dipped in the last few weeks. And Sampdoria have certainly got to step up their game in the second half if they're to deny Parma another victory. Asprilla. And turned straight into Lombardo. Serena now. Only his second start in Serie A this season, Serena, having been a regular over the past couple of campaigns. Di Chiara away from Lombardo. Kripa. Now Zola. Look how tight that Vierkovon was on him.
Showed great strength though, Peter, when the ball was played into him. There's no way he was going to let go of that ball. Look at the strength he shows. Vierkovin's a big, powerful man, but tremendous body strength there from Zola.
Fernando Couto. Linking with Baggio. And Manini happy that Zenga came to collect that one. Back by Melli to Serena. Here's Melli now. Desperate to score a goal today against his former club. Felt they didn't give him enough opportunities last season, Melli. Certainly considered his international aspirations were affected by the fact they wouldn't pick him too often. And of course he did fail to make the World Cup squad. It'll be Mihajlovic with the corner. Wasn't a good one though. Ivani. Now Serena. Ferri. Mancini. Appeal for handball, nothing given though. Mancini was allowed to go on. In goes Serena. But here's Brolin now on the break for Parma. Asprilla has pulled away to his right. Superb anticipation by Vierkovon. My word, he read that situation well.
Yes, he did. Wonderful anticipation, Peter, from Vierkovon. Very tigerish in the tackle. Ball should have been released a lot earlier, though. Brolin was carrying it, and Asprilla wanted it, but it was too late in coming, and that enabled Vierkovon to shut down the space.
He's a wily old fox, Vierkovon. The fact that he's now 35 doesn't mean too much to him in terms of his contribution, his enthusiasm for the game. Fernando Couto. Here's Zola. Couldn't shake off Manini though. Good sturdy defending by Manini. Another former Italian international. Clumsy pass by Serena. Zola now releasing Asprilla. Now does he have the pace here to get away from Vierkovon? Kripa's at the far post. A wasted opportunity. Maspero. Mihajlovic. Good covering though by Musi. There's a real urgency about the game now though. Melli battling.
It's an awful throw-in though from Mihajlovic. I know that you're quite right in what you're saying. There is an urgency about it, and especially from Sampdoria. But that's an awful throw. He's not giving Melli an opportunity to get hold of the ball. A little bit more composure is required.
Ivani. Mihajlovic. Out by Fernando Couto to Kripa. Brolin just in ahead of Maspero. Brackley, who was away on international duty with Sweden in the week. They were beaten by Switzerland. Crippa. Di Chiara. Again marauding down this left side. Asprilla. Manini just managing to hold him off. Lombardo. Well, Mancini turned away in disgust then, as possession was given back to Palmer so easily. Now Asprilla's given it away. Lombardo from Manini's chip. It's pulled Luca Bucci out, and he was equal to the task.
Yeah, tremendous goalkeeping again, Peter, from Bucci. Very good goalkeeping. But that's the first time we've actually seen Lombardo lose Di Chiara, and he managed to get him in quite a telling cross, but it was super goalkeeping.
Zola, little change of pace there, trying to outwit Ferri, and eventually manages to do so, until he was balked by Manini, but no foul. The referee was well placed and saw nothing wrong there. 10 minutes into the second half, and Parma still ahead thanks to Zola's goal just before half-time. Eriksson's team with plenty to do in this second half to retrieve the situation. Belli away from Apolloni. Mancini wanting the foul. I think they fell over each other. Crippa now on the break for Parma to Zola. So much danger when this man is in possession. Another teasing cross in, and Asprilla only inches away from meeting his cross.
It was a great run and a great cross. Asprilla taking a position up on the back post and then making this run into the near post. What a super little ball in as well it was. Well taken by Walter Zenga.
Lombardo, Ivani. Apolloni with the header, and then Serena's shot charged down. Mancini. It's a useful ball in as well, and it's just gone wide.
Yeah, that's the quality we were talking about before, Peter. These two guys, Zola and Mancini, really can put quality balls into the box, and he turns out onto his left foot, and it's the most fantastic ball, and Maspero is just a bit unfortunate. He gets bolted at the back post and heads it just wide, but it was a great ball in from Mancini.
I think he was claiming there his shirt was tugged, but the replay didn't suggest that.
Well, I think you're going to get that anyway, Peter, aren't you? He's hoping to keep it out, the defender, and Maspero's hoping to put it in the net. There's bound to be a bit of contact. But I think the referees handled the game very well.
Maspero making an early impression since coming on as a second-half substitute. Mihailovic did well then to find Maspero. Lombardo and Melli in the middle. That's a foul surely by Menotti, the Parma captain, and as we thought, he wasn't booked in the first half. He'd have been off otherwise.
I don't think you can have too many complaints as well, Peter. A bit of a rash old challenge from Menotti. Just rolls it through his legs, Maspero. Lovely bit of ability. It's a pretty dreadful tackle.
So another opportunity here then for Sampdoria. Mihailovic with a free kick. Lombardo is pulled up there. Seemed to be involved in a slight tangle.
I think someone trod on his toe, Peter.
You professionals don't do that to each other, do you?
It was an accident.
Ray, of course, did nominate October the 12th as his comeback date. Didn't say which year, though.
That's quite right. The way I'm going, it could be next year.
Maspero. Now Lombardo. A shooting chance. Great save by Luca Bucci.
Great football as well. That's what I was saying about Lombardo. Got to cause Di Chiara problems. Now he's come inside him now for a header, knockdown header from Melli. He's gone across the face of the goal and hit a good shot, which Bucci has been absolutely brilliant.
Ivani trying to force his way through. Mihailovic now. Parma holding on here. That's Vierkovod in so strongly. Wants a corner or free kick, anything really.
There we see it. It's a great run from Lombardo. Lovely little headed down. I think it was Mancini in actual fact, but there's Bucci with a super save again. He looks very, very sharp, the goalkeeper. He's got to do a lot more of that, Lombardo. He's got to mess him up. He's got to come inside, stay wide, come inside, and keep really messing Di Chiara up, so I don't know where he's going to go.
Well, he's an outstanding shot stopper, Luca Bucci, as he underlined then. Free header for Ivani. Menotti to sweep up at the back.
It's a very good period for Sampdoria now. If you would actually feel if they're going to score, it's going to be in this period now. They're having a super little time.
And the arrival of Maspero seems to have done them no harm. Vierkovod now. No one will try harder than him to redeem the situation. Melli. There is Vierkovod!
Well, that's nothing short of fantastic, Peter. That it's a beautiful little weighted header there from Vierkovod to Melli, who controls it and then sticks it back inside the fullback. Here we see it, the first time control, beautiful control, and then dips it in between two players, Menotti and Apolloni, and there's Vierkovod. Unfortunately, never really had the greatest feet in the world, actually missing the target, but that is a fantastic pass, that, from Melli.
Fabulous vision to set up Vierkovod, and he'll be very, very disappointed. And at the very least, he didn't extend Luca Bucci. Lombardo. Sampdoria looking to profit now from a very useful spell for them. Di Chiara in trouble now. Third Parma player to be cautioned in the game. Little tug then on Lombardo. Ferri. Serena. Here's Ivani. Lovely turn then by Asprilla. Zola. In goes Vierkovod.
He's some man, isn't he, Vierkovod? He really does want to get something out of this game, and you could hear the crowd actually love it when he goes like this. He's gone for 2 or 3 challenges there. He really is all heart.
Lombardo's cross! Mancini, no! In goes Lombardo again, now Melli. Parma's defence tottering again. Ivani. Maspero. Mihailovic skipping past the tackles. Baggio away. Finds Brolin. Mancini so close then to a goal for Sampdoria. His 100th for the club continues to elude him. Brolin.
It sometimes takes that bit. It's not only, we always talk about the great bits of skill that we see, but it sometimes takes a bit of a challenge like Vierkovod had there to actually rile his teammates into a bit of action. And we've seen, actually since those challenges that Vierkovod made, his side have actually come alive now, and they really do appear to be buzzing.
This is Lombardo here from that long ball out from Mihailovic. Another superb reaction save by Bucci.
Was a great save, Peter. Well, you'd have put your money on Mancini scoring from there, wouldn't you?
Well, there's much to admire in this second half. Certainly the fighting qualities of Vierkovod, as we were saying a moment or so ago, the man that Diego Maradona used to call the Incredible Hulk.
He's not far wrong there.
Sereno with a header. Sampdoria penalised though. That's Melli, the player in trouble. Free kick which Menotti will take. Parma's lead looking somewhat precarious now. Ferry. Down by Belly. Ivani. Parma having to backpedal again. On by Mancini. Good build up here from Sampdoria. Mihailovic to curl it over again. It's a corner. He's not the tallest of goalkeepers, Butchie's. Butchie, but my word, he's made some outstanding saves. And he's looked confident when he has come for crosses too. Fernando Couto, that first header out, helped on then by Baggio. Time here for Manini. Never seems to ruffle Manini. He's found Lombardo. Cooled away by Apolloni. That Di Chiara's got caught in possession. Belly. Maspero. Well, amazingly, I'm hearing now that Padova have scored a second goal at home to Milan. Gabrielli, another defender. Lalas, remember the American, scored the first one. So it's Padova 2, Milan 0. Milan may be heading for their second defeat of the season.
That's what makes football a great game, Peter, doesn't it? You can never really say what is going to happen. I thought he was a bit lucky there. Fernando Couto to get away with that.
Milan 3 points behind Parma and Roma at the start of today's games. Roma, of course, playing tonight away to Torino. Asprilla now for Parma. This is Serena. Linking with Belly. Gripper has it back for Parma. On by Baggio. Zola. Good chance from him. Now, can he reach this one before Ferry? Not this time.
I think his shirt's going to be about 4 sizes bigger than the amount of tugs he's had in it, but it's unbelievable.
Mihailovic. Mancini. Now Belly. Certainly the pace of the game has stepped up. This is Crippa. Zola. Apolloni trying to again exploit the pace of Asprilla. And some composed defending at the back from Manini. Lombardo now. And Mancini yards offside. I think he's going to have a swing at goal then. What's he saying?
I wouldn't have a clue. It's a great shot, isn't it? I think there's a few swear words being uttered there, Peter, somewhere along the line.
Don't tell me you didn't learn a few when you were out there.
Never. It was hard enough learning the language.
Apolloni. Now Brolin. This is Crippa. Plenty of movement ahead of him. Zola. And Musi, this is Zola now, on for Musi. Asprilla had pulled into the middle. And what a pity from Parma's point of view, it wasn't a better cross.
Yeah, poor quality, wasn't it, from Musi? He should really have done a lot better than that. As you quite rightly say, Asprilla made a nice little run and pulled off to the back post. But he didn't really have the ability to stick it on his head. This little chap's worked tirelessly, Melli, hasn't he, up front, Peter? A lot of good running off the ball and worked very, very hard.
Sereno with the pass, which almost took Vierkovon by surprise. Mihailovic here. Now Vierkovon. Ivani, who's also covered a great deal of ground. Mihailovic. It's all left foot from Mihailovic, but it's a cultured one. Maspero, away by Fernando Couto. Foul by Asprilla. He's adjudged the culprit there as he tries to hold off Jerkovod, which is not an easy task. Serena. Di Chiara miskicking it completely. Eventually away by Menotti. Manini now to Ferri. Serena. Mancini. And Bucci holding on well. Terrific throw out too, finding Zola.
Just overhit that cross, but look at the ball bending. Look, it's a great take from Bucci as well.
And here comes Sampdoria again. Really fired up now. Lombardo. Menotti was sticking tigerishly to him. This is Ivani. Now Ferri. Serena. Asprilla with Manini.
He's done well there, Manini. Asprilla is very, very fast, and I think that there was a little bit of shirt pulling, but Manini's defended very well against him.
Well, his pace is frightening, Asprilla, so all credit to Manini for curtailing his run. Zola. His goal still separates the two teams. Asprilla now. Couldn't get away from Jerkovod.
Having a great tussle though, aren't they?
Melli. Now Mancini taking over. Finds Ferri. Mancini again. Support from Mihailovic. And then Ivani's rare mistake. Bit of activity down there on the South bench. Salcedo, who often comes on, and to good effect too. Very rarely starts a game for Sampdoria. Ivani. Offside. Close. Mancini has had his knee problem for some time now, so maybe that has left him a little less mobile than usual. But of course he did have that great opportunity earlier in the half, denied by the agility of Luca Bucci here. Who again has been very impressive in Parma's goal. Must be wondering about his international future though, with Rossi's call up to the Italian team.
I think that's long overdue as well though, Peter. Rossi really has been extremely consistent over the last couple of years, and I think now Saki's in there and he's going to use him a lot more. I think Rossi's a super goalkeeper.
And he's actually promoted him above Luca Marchigiani as well, who didn't make the last squad for the match with Estonia. This man did, the number 5 there, Apolloni. Mancini, of course, has retired from the international scene. And he and Zola were fighting for the place that Roberto Baggio was holding in the lineup. Baggio has missed the last couple because of injury, and Zola has stepped into the side.
It makes you wonder whether he had the heart for the fight, Peter, Mancini. He's not an old man, he's a young chap, and to actually retire from international football, I find that very strange indeed.
Lombardo. Mihailovic. Lombardo. It's a penalty. Fernando Couto has been penalised for the tackle then on Lombardo.
Yeah, it's a good ball into Lombardo. He lets it run, he just rolls Couto. He gets a little bit too tight to him and he rolls him, and he doesn't take too much for players to go. Well, I personally don't think it is a penalty, but
I'm not sure he's even touched him.
No, I don't think there was a lot of contact, if any at all, Peter, and the referee, who I think's had a super game, obviously doesn't have the look at the television to see the replay, so it's a very difficult. It's a split-second thing, and he's decided that it is a penalty. And I would have thought Mancini would have taken this, but it's young Maspero that actually has the ball.
Well, they've only had one previous penalty this season, and Melli took that and scored. But it's Maspero, and of course they had a lot of problems from the penalty spot last season, Sampdoria. I think they have 13 in all. They missed 6 of them. Mancini was the worst offender. But it's Maspero, the second half substitute, who has been given the responsibility now of beating Luca Bucci. And he does so in style. Well, it was a very, very controversial penalty. I have to say that I thought it was a very, very harsh decision. But Maspero wasn't asking any questions about that. He kept his composure and sent the keeper the wrong way.
Really was very nice penalty, wasn't it? There we see him, he lets it run. Koto's getting the wrong side of him, you see, and I think there was a little bit of contact, but not enough to send Lombardo sprawling. I think they're very fortunate to get that. But this was taken very, very nicely, wasn't it? A young man stepping up there, just slotting it into the left-hand corner. Very, very nicely done.
Ricardo Maspero with a goal, 15 minutes from time, to make it 1-1.
They deserve to get back in the game, though, Peter. They've really taken the game by the scruff of the neck in the second half and deserve to get right back in it. Let's see if they can carry it on now and go for the victory.
Well, I would agree with that. They've certainly deserved it, but it was a dubious penalty decision.
But we do see a few on this Italian football, Peter, don't we? The old dubious ones. They like a dubious penalty decision.
Well, we see it everywhere, Ray.
Yeah, it's quite true.
It's all about opinions, and referee Beskin is a very, very experienced official. And his instant reaction to that was that there was a foul. There was contact by Fernando Couto. And he was convinced, if there was a dive from Lombardo, that it was a legitimate one. Zola now. Parma will have to take the game to Sampdoria a little more. Brolin. No worry there for Montezenga. Apolloni's header. Here is Lombardo. Now Belli. And by Maspero, the goal scorer. Ivani. Fernando Couto firmly into the tackle on Melli. I would have thought Melli would have fancied the kick against his old club there, Ray.
Yes, that's quite right. It is amazing, isn't it? You've got Mancini and Melli, and they both don't fancy it. But it is nice to see also a young chap step up and have the confidence to put it in. And it really does look as if he's got a lovely left foot, and it was a very nicely taken penalty.
His first goal for Sampdoria.
We think Mancini's sitting on 99 goals as well, Peter. That's not a bad opportunity, is it, to have to get to 100.
Maspero. But then presumably your confidence has to be right, and maybe Mancini's isn't at the moment.
That's quite right. When penalties are given, it's not necessarily the designated penalty taker that should just walk up and take it, but the person that feels that he's got the confidence to do it. And obviously Maspero felt that way.
Asprilio, who's got a real battle on up front, often a lone battle too, until Zola gets forward to join him, and Baggio and Brolin. Maspero. Off Musi for a Sampdoria throw, taken by Mihailovic. Off Baggio. Now Mancini.
Just a bit out of sorts, Mancini, isn't he? Normally that's bread and butter stuff for him, just a little flick up and an overhead kick, but His touch isn't there. He's a bit ring rusty, is Mancini. A couple more games, we should see him back at his best.
Certainly not at his sharpest today, Mancini. But Sampdoria right back in this game thanks to the penalty from Maspero. In goes Bernini now. Lombardo. Racing on to Serena's pass. Here's Menotti, aided by Thomas Brolin. Cripper now. Just manoeuvred himself into space. An excellent pass too, finding Asprilla. Di Chiara have gone the other way. Next to the dismay of Asprilla.
Excellent defending from Ferry there, Peter.
Mancini! Is that another penalty? It's
yes, I think it is, Peter, yeah. Oh, that was a penalty as well. That was wonderful football. Beautiful through ball. Lovely weight on the pass. Mancini just got there in time. Might be outside the box. No, I think it just was inside the box, and I think it was Apolloni catching the heels of Mancini.
Well, there seems to be some confusion here as to whether or not the referee has given the penalty kick. I think maybe he wants to work with the linesman.
I wonder if young Maspero will take this one. It's always very interesting. I think it was just outside, actually, Peter, when the contact's finished.
The first contact, yeah.
It was just outside. But when there's two penalties given, there's a...
No, he's given the kick. And Sampdoria have a golden opportunity now to take the lead. And it'll be Maspero again. What a moment for him against Luca Bucci. Oh, it's squirmed in. Oh, Bucci was so unlucky then.
And he got two hands to it as well, Peter, but this young fella's shown tremendous confidence, isn't he, to take the second penalty as well. There's often food for thought that perhaps the second guy should come up and take it. But Maspero's having none of it. And he had the confidence to take it. Here we see the penalty incident once again. I think if there's contact, I didn't even know whether there is contact there. But there he goes, he steps up, Maspero, the same side as before. Bucci very, very quick, gets both hands there. Looks as if he tried to catch it in actual fact and palm it away. And a desperate dive into the back of the net for the ball.
Two contentious decisions, but twice Ricardo Maspero has scored from the penalty spot.
Branky's just been introduced, Peter. The very interesting young chap up the front.
Brolin's gone off. And the cheers you're hearing at the moment are because Brescia have equalised against Genoa, Sampdoria's big rivals. They share the stadium, of course, so it's Brescia 1, Genoa 1. The main concern for the Sampdoria fans is whether or not their team can now protect this lead. Palmer with Branca on to add a little punch up front. 3 goals, remember, from him in the last couple of games. A little unlucky to be left out today. A former Udinese player, and also, of course, ex-Sampdoria. And from what I've seen of him, he looks a very useful player. Someone described him as a lesser version of Marco van Basten, but in the same mould. 7 minutes to go. Mancini, in goes Mihailovic. Well, Parma are clearly feeling very hard done by at the moment, and their frustration boiling over once or twice. That's Asprilla with the challenge on Mihailovic.
Some atmosphere, Peter, really buzzing now. Be interesting to see if Palmer can claw this back.
Mihailovic with the free kick. Mancini trying to work it on. There's Vierkavod, whose enthusiasm has been relentless And he's been such an example too to those around him. He certainly hadn't given up the chase when Parma were leading.
Yeah, I really feel that little bit halfway through the half, Peter, where he went on about 4 challenges in succession, really gave his teammates a tremendous lift. It gave the crowd a lift as well. And they've gone from strength to strength. They deserve to actually be in front, I think, Sampdoria. They've really gone for it, made it happen.
Serena now. Rushing Cripper aside. Lombardo, no, couldn't get past Benotti. Here's Cripper. Now, Di Chiara. Goal kick.
This is where we'll see if that experienced defence of Sampdoria's can hold out. You saw a tremendous piece of defending there from Manini. He wasn't going to dive in. He stood his ground, and Di Chiara tried to get a free kick in the corner, but Manini defended very well.
Well, they've got some years of service between them, haven't they? Zenga 34, Manini 32, Ferry 31, Bierkabort 35. Direct approach this time from Bucci. Franco's header. This is Lombardo. Sampdoria have shown a real appetite for the second half. Di Chiara's going to be in trouble here.
I think that could be good night Vienna there, Peter. That was a pretty desperate challenge. He just toes it past him, Lombardo, and Di Chiara sends him sprawling.
He's already been booked, and now it's a red card for Di Chiara. And he can hardly have any complaints. Livio Scala, the Parma coach, well, I'm sure he was incensed by the penalty awards, but he needs his team to calm down here, to control themselves if they're to stand any chance of saving the game late on. Di Chiara rightly sent off for his second yellow card. That might even have been sending off on its own.
Yes, I think that may well have been, Peter, yeah, with the rule changes.
Up by Manini. This is Mancini.
Well, there's no substitute for class, Peter, is there? We've had a bit of a pop at him this afternoon. He really hasn't performed to the sort of standards we know Mancini, but there is no substitute for class, and the way he beat Bucci there was just fantastic. A lovely little through ball through to him, and there he is. He's half turned already, knows exactly where he is, knows exactly where Bucci is, and look at that, absolutely beautiful. That's his 100th goal.
Fantastic for Sampdoria.
Yeah, remarkable stuff. There you see, he's already half turned, he knows exactly where everybody is, and a little dink over the goalkeeper as he comes out. Great goal. Don't say he's smiling there. That must be the first smile of the afternoon that Mancini's had.
Well, Parma's defence, normally so well organised, was split apart then. Mancini to cash in. He scored on each of the 3 previous occasions when Sampdoria have beaten Parma at home, and he's managed another one today. What a transformation in this game. Lombardo now in that rampaging fashion. Cripper with a covering tackle. 3-1 to Sampdoria, and their fans now absolutely jubilant.
It's a big win for Sampdoria if they can carry this off, Peter. They really did. They're desperate for a victory. If they can see this game through, they'll be well pleased. It's been a good second half performance. They really have gone at Parma and made it very, very tough for them.
The 4th corner, which Mihailovic is going to take. And he hasn't taken them too well on some occasions.
Now, when you think of the left foot he's got, he really should be hitting areas in the box with regularity. It's getting a little bit silly now. There's Asprilla trying to kick the ball out of the ground now.
Well, I think Parma have some cause for grievance over the penalty decisions. I certainly credit Sampdoria for their fight back in the second half. Serena with a wild shot. Palmer seemingly in control at the halfway stage. And then it's all turned sour for them. We're now in the final minute of normal time.
So much nicer as well to see games being played in football stadiums, Peter, isn't it? The crowd very close to the pitch without the running track. It really does add to the atmosphere, adds to the occasion. And this really has been a super occasion this afternoon. The second half really has been something special.
Palmer still persevering, but surely without too much hope now. Asprilla. Serena eyeball to eyeball with Asprilla, and this is all getting out of hand now as referee Beskin looks to exert his authority. Crippa with the free kick. They posted Fernando Couto forward and Menotti too, in the hope of salvaging something now. Well, surely that's Menotti. It was a shove by him, and he's come off worse. Into injury time. A much-needed win for Sampdoria if they can't hold on now in the last few seconds. After those two previous defeats, here's Salsino coming on for Mancini. Won't have too long to impress.
Just a bit of time wasting there, Pete, I think, with the substitution.
Yeah. And I'm sure Mancini will get a great reception from the home fans. He's the idol, of course, in Genoa. In fact, it's Lombardo going off. They've changed the 10 to a 7. Oh, no, it's not. Make your mind up, chaps.
I think Mancini's gone straight off down the tunnel. I think he needs it's a much-needed rest. He's looked very jaded, very tired.
Crippa. Fernando Couto. There's only one way to attack Sampdoria now. It's a long, long ball in search of Branca. Tucked away by Manini, who's had an outstanding game at the back. And now they've lost the ball. Crippa's tackle on Salsino. Parma heading for their first defeat in Serie A this season. Will they be knocked off the top of the table? Well, Roma have to play tonight. The teams level on points, remember, before the start of today's games. We're into the third minute of injury time. Lombardo to Melli. Now Maspero. Is this going to be his third? Bucci to the rescue. Mihailovic. The danger still hasn't passed. Mihailovic. Now Crippa. Asprilla on the charge. Manini thundering into the tackle again. Such a resilient defender. And there's another one, Vierkovan.
Yeah, those three have been magnificent in the second half, Peter. Really have tucked up Palmer in every dimension. They just can't get away from him. They've covered every blade of grass at the back there, those three. They've been fantastic, Ferri, Manini and Vierkovan. There was a few challenges going in there from Asprilla. I don't know whether he was a bit afraid of a tackle, but he was certainly jumping very high.
Asprilla. A rather tired pass though, but still Palmer had possession. Sampdoria have the points at this stage. Musi's cross. Fernando Couto will come forward again. Well, that's it. And Sampdoria have beaten Palmer by 3 goals to 1. This after they trailed by a goal to nil at half-time. Zola having given Palmer the lead in the 43rd minute. But then two debatable penalties from Maspero and another goal from Mancini have turned this game around in the second half, right?
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it, Peter. As you quite rightly say, the second half was a super game, and Sampdoria really went for it, and full credit to them. I know they got a couple of dodgy decisions, or tricky decisions for the referee, should I say, but they did exceptionally well. They went for the game, and they made it happen. Didn't wait for it to happen, they made it happen, and that's vitally important, and that's a great win for them. Really a super win. Because Parma are no slouches. They showed in the first half what a good football inside they are. They took the lead. I suppose for Sampdoria it makes it even better victory the way they've come back, and in Maspero they have a very nice young footballer, and things are looking bright for them again. Nice to see Mancini back as well.
Okay, well, let's look back over some of the highlights from the game, which certainly went Parma's way in the first half. But there were chances. Melli had one for Sampdoria, and then just before half-time, the goal that divided the teams at that stage. Yeah, it was a brilliant through ball from Zola. He doesn't stop, he goes for the return, and it's Cripper on the left-hand side. Little ball inside. And I don't think this chap's going to miss from there, and that was 1-0 to Parma, and I thought at the time fairly deserved as well. They were far more composed. There was a lovely little ball, and there he goes for the return as well. Just stops there, makes a nice angle for himself. An easy ball for Cripper, and it's in the back of the net. Super little goal. Well, you can see those Sampdoria defenders there protesting. They felt there should have been an offside flag sometime before Cripper pulled the ball back for Zola. Yeah, it was very close, but the forward player does get the advantage now, and it was a nice little piece of football. This was a fantastic one too. Great ball from Asprilla. There's the return pass going in. Now we see Asprilla do a fantastic little jink on his left-hand side here to hit the upright. Here he goes. Whoops! Round the defender. Instead of cutting it across the face of the goal, he tries to shoot, and I think it comes off the upright there. Well, just seeing Asprilla again here. Look how he turned the defender. Showed a lot of ability, Asprilla, today, Peter. A lot of ability. There's Mancini coming inside with a fantastic ball to the far post. Maspero diving in. Bit of contact, I think, was with... I thought it was Minotti to start with, but it wasn't. Here we'd see the ball coming in again. Beautiful ball in. And Maspero was just a little bit unfortunate he couldn't convert that one. And that was a beautiful bit of football there between Mancini and Lombardo. Cutting across the face of the goal. Bucci makes a fabulous save down to his right-hand side. Very sharp. Well, no one deserved to be on the winning side more than Vierkovod today. I thought he sparked him into life, actually. That was a brilliant one, too. Lovely ball there from Melli. Little reverse pass inside Apolloni and Minotti. Here we see it again. Beautiful pass, that is. And there's Vierkovod. He played the initial header. Just burst in a gap to get in the box and try and finish it. It was great stuff. Lombardo, a lovely little ball into the near post. And I think it was Mancini who got on the end of it. Yes, it was Mancini. And again, a fine save from Bucci. Had a fantastic match. And there's the first penalty going in. But was it? I'm inclined to think it wasn't, Peter. But as we say, the referee only has that split second. And Maspero, beautiful little penalty. Does exactly the same technique for the second one. Looking into one corner and placing it into the other. Beautiful penalty that was. Well, here's the second one. If there's contact made, I thought it was just outside the box, Peter. If there's contact made at all. I think Mancini actually leaps over the legs of Apolloni. I don't even think there's contact made, but I would have given it had I been the referee, because you only get that split second. Maspero again choosing that side. Bucci this time guessing right, but couldn't get to the ball. Yes, he'll count himself very unlucky there, Luca Bucci. Now here's the third goal. Mancini, well, we were saying earlier on, he'd looked a little subdued at times, maybe lacking a bit of sharpness, but nothing wrong with this goal. Oh, sheer class, wasn't it, Peter? Maspero had a very, very similar situation a little bit later and couldn't convert it. They're not easy chances. He'll see it. He's already got himself half-turned, Mancini, so he knows exactly where everybody is. Goalkeeper comes out, Bucci. He's going to lay down. Mancini knows that. He just dinks it over the top. So 3-1 it finished to Sampdoria. Let's check on the other scores today. Brescia 1, Genoa 2. Cagliari have beaten Cremonese by 1-0. Foggia 2, Juventus 0. Juventus beaten for the first time this season. Inter 1, Bari 2, another shock there. Lazio 5, Napoli 1. All those 5 goals in the first half. Padova have beaten Milan by 2-0. Reggiana 1, Fiorentina 1. And of course the match being played tonight, Torino against Roma. You can see that on Mezzanotte on Tuesday. The top of the table, Roma and Parma then on 13, Lazio now up to third place on 11, also with Foggia and Juventus. Sampdoria in sixth place, level on points with Bari and Milan. Top scorers, Batistuta on 7, Signori and Balbo on 5. Tuesday night is Mezzanotte then on Channel 4, don't miss that. It's Torino against Roma. We'll look forward to that game. Meantime now, I'll hand you back to James Richardson.
Roma have been the revelation of the season so far. Undefeated, 10 goals scored, just 2 conceded, and good wins against Inter and Sampdoria. Abu Balbo and Daniel Fonseca have joined forces to become the most feared strike partnership in Serie A. And finally, things seem to be going right for coach Carlo Mazzoni. But everything seems to be going wrong for Torino. Behind-the-scenes problems forced the sale of virtually the whole of last year's squad, the only remaining star being top scorer Andrea Silenzi. The new-look team has struggled, losing heavily to Inter, Lazio and Parma. Torino have already sacked one coach, but the new man on the bench, Nedo Sonetti, did inspire a fine performance to produce this 2-0 win at Foggia. So they can play. And Torino will be encouraged because in midweek, Roma showed the first sign of weakness, a 2-0 loss to Genoa in the Coppa Italia. You'll be able to find out what happens in our Mezzanotte programme on Tuesday night.
So that's pretty much it then for this afternoon. Remember, we'll be back next week with probably Sampdoria again against Milan at an earlier time. What is it, 1:15, because your clocks are going back. So that's something to watch out for. Milan certainly in crisis at the moment. Sampdoria beginning to make their way back towards the top of the table. Can they actually make it to the top now that Parma are off? That's it though. We'll leave you with Mancini's 100th goal for Sampdoria.
It fell to earth with a squinch.